Hey, what's up? It's the Lonely Bull in Asia, JJ here in Bangkok in my condo. Happy Sunday morning if you're enjoying this on a Sunday morning or a Saturday night, depending where you're at. But it's Sunday morning here, 9 a.m. on the nosy, and I've got my coffee and I'm ready to go. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk today about why Bangkok's the best city in my mind, and a lot of other people, because Thailand's usually number one in tourists in all of Southeast Asia. And now I know their numbers are down this year, and I think part of that is the earthquake that happened a month or so ago. I think people are a little leery about that. There's some other things that might have something to do with their tourism down. Tourism's down in a lot of Southeast Asian countries, but in some they're up, like in Vietnam. Vietnam tourism was up. So it's not just the countries in Southeast Asia. It's there's more to it, I think. But it could be the economy, could be um, the economy in the countries where these people would come from. I know China tourism is down in Thailand, so not a lot of people from China are coming down here, or not as many as before. China used to be number one tourism for Thailand as far as countries coming here, but it's down, and I think that has a lot to do with the overall numbers being down. So anyway, but that's beside the point. We're going to talk about Bangkok and why I love it so much. So we'll wait just a couple minutes and see who else comes on board here. Let me know where you're coming from, where you're watching from, and well, let me get my glasses on so I can read these. Go ahead and join the chat too. We appreciate that. Edwin, hey JJ, good to see you. You're still rocking the live shows. Yeah, I'm going to do it every week until nobody starts watching. So why not? It's fun. Sunday morning I'm just hanging out in my condo anyway. So what the hell? Jolly Man says hi JJ. Hi Jolly Man. What says JJ? Interesting name. Wendy, happy Sunday morning. Wendy, are you still in Cambodia, or have you are you heading back to Malaysia? Where are you at right now? Edwin, like and subscribe, stay young. Thank you. Yes, do. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you like the content today, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the algorithms too. Iced vanilla latte. Glad to see you're back here watching from the Philippines. Very good. Edwin's in Kansas City, KCMO. I like Kansas City. That was one of my favorite cities to go to when I lived in the Midwest. It was fun to head downtown or head to Westport, those areas. Wendy's still in Cambodia. Okay, very good. Rigby's on. Rigby has his own channel, and he's a growing YouTuber, and he's right now in Bacolod. And so check his channel out, Rigby's Philippines Life. He's going to come up here. Him and his girlfriend are coming to Thailand next month, so I'll be happy to see him there. Yeah, still in Bacolod. So, all right. So let's start the topics at hand. We were talking about why I like Bangkok. Now I moved here. I'm going to do a video on why I moved to the Philippines and why I left. Basically, just in a nutshell, I moved for work. And I lived in BGC, in Bonifacio Global City, which is in Metro Manila, the national capital region. And I lived there for almost 3 years, and I loved it. But I was just ready to make a change. And I've been visiting Thailand and specifically Bangkok for the last 2.5 years. And I really liked it. Every time I came here, I just loved it. I loved the vibe. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the food, obviously. The cost was cheap. So when I got that itch to move, and I do that about every 3 years, I get that itch to change venue. I decided, what the hell, I'm going to go to Bangkok, going to live in Bangkok. So I did. Last October, I moved here. and so I love it. Um, so that, in a nutshell, is how I got here. And some of the things I really like about Bangkok is one thing above all is the ease of getting around. It's so much different than Metro Manila. You've got the train systems that virtually can take you almost anywhere you need to be in Bangkok. And if not right there, then you're pretty close. They don't have that in Manila, unfortunately. So that's one of the things, the ease of getting around, so easy to get around and cheap. And I read yesterday that they're talking about lowering the cost of riding the trains, both the MRT and the Skyrail, the BTS, to 20 baht total. So you can go anywhere in the city for 20 baht. Right now, 20 is about the minimum you can go from one station to the next. And I think about the maximum is probably 50 or 55 baht, something around there. But if they're going to drop it to 20, I mean, you can travel. I'm on the south end of Bangkok, and I could travel all the way up north for 20 baht. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. So I don't know if they're talking about it. And as everything is in Bangkok or in Thailand, they do a lot of talking. They think things through. They get that message out, and then everybody gets excited, and then nothing happens for a year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But their plan is to get this implemented in September of this year. So we'll see what happens. So that would be kind of cool. So ease of getting around in Bangkok is one of the main things. Now you can ride the rails. The subway is the MRT. The Skyrail is the BTS. Fairly cheap, inexpensive, easy to get around. You can take taxis. You can take Grab. They've also got Bolt, which is just like Grab. For those of you that aren't familiar with Asia, Grab and Bolt are like the Uber of Asia. So those are your rides that you can take. You can take tuk-tuks in Bangkok, which is kind of fun to ride. And you can take bikes. You can get on the back of a bike, a motorcycle, and weave in and out of traffic and get anywhere you want to be in a short period of time. It's fast. It's furious. It can be a little dangerous. So just be aware of that. But it's cheap, and it gets you around really fast. That's probably the fastest mode of transportation, is hopping on the back of a bike and going where you need to go. The traffic's crazy busy here, just like in Metro Manila, just like in Ho Chi Minh City, just like in every major city. So the rail system is a better option. Now, you can go from one stop to the next, and it takes less than 3 minutes per stop. So if I'm down here on the south end of Bangkok and I want to go to Phrom Phong or Asok, which is where Terminal 21 is, those areas up on Sukhumvit, it's about 10 stops. So you figure about 30 minutes or less. So that's not bad to get all the way to the central part of Bangkok in 30 minutes from South Bangkok. It's a big city. So yeah, transportation is pretty insane here, but it's pretty easy to get around. The food, of course, I love the food, and put in your chats too. If you've been here to Bangkok, what's good for you? What do you like about Bangkok, or what don't you like? We'll do both ends. Edwin says, "How bad are the scammers over there?" They're as bad as anywhere in Southeast Asia. I think Manila or the Philippines probably has more scammers per capita than anywhere, just from my personal experience. And I think part of that is scammers. I think it's all dependent on, or it's all related to the economy and the quality of life. So if you're in an area that has more poverty, you're more apt to find more scammers than you would if you're in a higher class. So like in Singapore, you probably don't find a lot of scammers there. In Tokyo, you probably don't find a lot of scammers there as you would here, or in Manila or in the Philippines. So I think that's probably it. So you've got the normal ones where, the taxi scams at the airport where they try to get you to get in their cab without using their meter, or they try to overcharge you. The tuk-tuk drivers will try to overcharge you because they look at you and they think you're a foreigner and you're new here and you're not aware of um, you're a tourist and you're green, you're wet behind the ears, you're green to the whole thing, and so they try to take advantage of you. So you just have to know what to look for, and just kind of have to know what you should be paying. So for a tuk-tuk ride, maybe ask a local, what would that ride normally cost you if you were going from a soak and you took a tuk-tuk to I don't know, to Nana or something, or you're in Nana and you want to take a tuk-tuk up to Prompong, 2 or 3 stops. What would that normally cost? That way you've got an idea. And if the tuk-tuk driver charges you more or wants to charge you more, pay if you want, don't pay if you want. It's totally up to you. But, you got to negotiate the price before you get in the back of that tuk-tuk. Let's see, other scams, you got, obviously you got the the girl scams on the dating sites. Those are aplenty in any country that you're in. Um, the tour, okay, Edwin, this is interesting. So your advice on booking a tour service. I've never done that. I've always been the kind that just goes out on my own and finds things on my own. I don't normally book the tour things, but you'll see if you're walking up and down Sukhumvit, you'll see taxis or tuk-tuks parked with these big poster boards with all these tour options. And sometimes that can be kind of a scam too. They may overcharge you, but being overcharged is in the eye of the beholder. If you can afford it and you want to do it, go ahead and do it. You're helping the locals a little bit. Now, I wouldn't I had a tuk-tuk driver. I was in this was a couple of years ago actually. I was at Chatuchak night market, weekend market, and I was there just hanging out before I had to go to the airport. And I asked a tuk-tuk driver how much it would cost to go to the airport, and he gave me this outlandish. Now, I know it's a long way for a tuk-tuk to drive from Chatuchak to the airport, and I was kind of new at this whole thing. I think it was my first or second time here. And he gave me this outrageous price. I want to say it was like 2,000 baht or 3,000 baht or something like that. So we're talking $60. And I said, no. I may be new to Bangkok and Thailand, but I'm not that new. I kind of know. So I hailed a taxi, and the taxi gave me a price, and it was like 500 baht. So I'm thinking, okay, that's better. And it might have been a little overcharged. I don't know, but I took it, and I didn't have to pay the 2,000 that the tuk-tuk driver wanted. So you just have to, with the tour services, you just have to kind of know what you're getting into. A lot of times you'll go into these tuk-tuk drivers or these taxis, and you want them to take you to a temple, and they'll tell you, this is one of the scams. They'll tell you, oh, sorry, the temple's closed today, but I can take you to this other temple. Well, that's a scam. The temple's not closed. They're taking you to a place where they get a kickback because that place will charge an admission to get in, and it's a legit temple and everything, but they'll charge you, and the tuk-tuk driver, the taxi driver, gets a kickback, gets a commission for taking you there. So just know that temples rarely close. So, but yeah, just kind of, I would maybe Google tour services and see if there's some prices you can kind of compare. JJ, how much should you pack for a 2 or 3 week vacation in Thailand? I would not pack more than like 5 days of clothes, like maybe not even that, 4 or 5 days, because you can always do your laundry. So if you pack 5 days, you got 5 pair of underwear, 5 socks, maybe 3 pair of shorts, maybe 3 or 4 shirts, maybe 5 shirts, because if you're walking around a lot, you'll sweat. So you may have to change your shirt a couple of times a day. But I wouldn't pack more than that, because you can, if you're at an Airbnb or at a Agoda condo or something like that, a lot of times they have the washer right in the apartment, so you can just do your laundry every 3 or 4 days while you're here. Or there's laundry services available, maybe at the hotel you're staying at, maybe they have laundry services, or in the area, just Google map, laundry near me, and you can find super cheap places to drop off your laundry. And it's usually same day or next day. You'll pay a little extra, a couple of $100 extra if you want same day service, or next day you just pick it up the next day. But I wouldn't pack more than 4 or 5 days worth of clothes. That would be overkill. And really, I mean, if you're staying 2 or 3 weeks, just bring a carry-on. Either a backpack or the small luggage that you can put in overhead, and then maybe a bag that you can put underneath the seat in your flight here. That's what I do. Now, if you want to go all out, go all out. But that's what I do. So just you can take it or leave it. But yeah, just don't bring too much. You don't need that much. And also, there's clothes are super cheap. If you're in Chatuchak Market, or as I did market down downtown near the river the other day, and I bought 2 shirts for $80 each. So it was like less than $2.50 for 2 really nice shirts. So you can buy shirts and you can buy clothes here. So you don't even need to bring more than a couple of pair of clothes. Just buy it here when you get here. That would be my advice. So they've got really good clothes, good quality clothes. They're knockoffs most likely, but they're decent clothes, and they're good quality, and they're cheap, super cheap. Diane, do you normally purchase throwaway onward ticket when traveling around Asia? Yes, I always do, actually, because I generally don't purchase round trip tickets if I'm traveling somewhere. So like if I decide I want to go to Vietnam in a month or 2 or whatever, I won't do a round trip. I'll do a one-way. That way it's open-ended when I want to leave. And I'll spend the $16 for a throwaway ticket on onwardticket.com. That way, if they ask for my return date or my onward date, I've got that ticket and I can show them that. So, but that's what I normally do. Yeah. I use onwardticket.com. It's always worked for me. It's legit. It's a legit ticket, but it's canceled after 48 hours. So don't buy the ticket until you're under 2 days out from leaving or from going to your destination, because after 48 hours it's canceled. And then if they ask you if they check on it and it's canceled, you may run into some problems. But I've never had that. So JJ, I like to hike. Are there a lot of nature places to visit? There's tons. Go up to Chiang Mai. Now, I haven't been to a lot of places in Thailand, so I'll admit that up front. Full disclosure, I've only been to Bangkok, obviously, Chiang Mai. I've been to Hua Hin. I've been to Pattaya. Those are the only 4 places I've been to. But of those 4 places, Chiang Mai, you can get outside of the city there, and there's a lot of hiking. There's a place there I didn't get to go to last time, but I want to. It's a trail that I believe it's in Chiang Mai. It's a trail that leads to the foot of the Himalayas. But it's a pretty long trail, but it's not one of those rocky ones like you get in the Philippines, where you're tripping over rocks and crevices and things like that. It's not paved, but it's like almost like a boardwalk. I watched a video a couple of years ago, a couple that they have a YouTube channel, but I can't remember who they are. But I watched them, and they did this trail, and it led them all the way to the foot of the Himalaya. So I'm thinking, well, that's cool. And you're a little farther north. You're up in the mountains a little bit, so or the foothills, I guess. But that's where I'll go when I go back to Chiang Mai next month. Um, that's one of the places I want to go. I want to go on that trail. I want to find that trail and do that. So, but there's tons of here. I tell you, Patty Doyle has a really good YouTube channel, and he's probably got 1 million subscribers. So he's a lot bigger than me. But he does these travel videos all over. Well, he does it all over Asia, but check out the ones he's done in Thailand, in northern Thailand and southern Thailand, and he'll show you all those places. So I would recommend watching Patty Doyle's travels channel. He's really good at what he does, and he'll show you all the places to hike and all that good stuff. Have you rented a scooter? What are the costs of doing so? So no, I have not rented a scooter. I don't need one here in Bangkok really, because the transportation issue is not a problem. Now, if I go down to Hua Hin, I may rent a scooter there when I go down there, but I'm only going to be there for a few days. So I don't know that I'll need one. I might get one in Chiang Mai when I'm up there because I'm there for a week. So I may get a scooter there. I need to check. I don't know exactly what the license issue is. I definitely don't want to get pulled over without a proper license and get fined or whatever. So I want to do it all legit. So I'll check that out. But I think now in the Philippines, if you go down to the Philippines, you can get a scooter. You can rent a scooter for like 200 or 300 peso a week. I think I asked Gio that the other day, what it was to rent it. Let me see what his reply was. I'll look it up again just to make sure. Hang on just a second. Yeah, he said renting a small motorbike, probably around, 2,500 peso, not 250 peso, 2,500 peso. So that's about $50, less than $50 a week. It's probably similar here. It's probably, $50 a week would be a good. Now, here's one of the scams you got to look out for. First of all, from what I've learned from some other YouTubers, because I've never done it before, but take video of the bike that you're renting before, so you can document all the scratches and all the dents and all the problems with the bike before. That way, if you take it back and they say, oh, you did this, you have that video evidence that you didn't. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is, from what I've heard from other YouTubers, is don't just go look for the cheapest place. Look for the ones that are the bigger places, because they've got a better reputation, and they're more worried. If they're a big business, they don't want bad reputation, so they're not going to scam you. So look for those places, because they're less likely to try to scam you as far as, oh, you damaged my bike, you damaged our bike, and now you have to pay extra. So those are the two things I would tell you to do that I've learned from other YouTubers, is take a video of the bike before you take it out, so you've got that documented, and go to larger rental places that have a good reputation. So that's what I would tell you. Okay, Diane, would you recommend staying in Old City in Chiang Mai for conveniences? I'm going to stay in Nimon district. I stayed there last time, and it's a really cool area. It's got really neat coffee shops and cafes. You can take a Grab, and it's really easy to get a Grab anywhere. So you can get a Grab and go to the Old City. But you can pretty much probably stay anywhere. But I'm going to stay in the Nimon area. That's just a neat area for me. And then I'll take a grab to the old city or down to the center of the city where the mall is and where that outdoor area is. It's really cool. So that's where I'll go. Hey, Gokalti. How is Pattaya? I wish I wasn't known for all of its perversion. I wish it wasn't known for all its perversion and partying. I would live there. You know what? I'm right with you. I would live there too if it wasn't such an adult entertainment area. It's really cheap to live there, and really cheap. Everything's cheap there. Actually last year, and I was with Rigby at the time. We went. Maybe it was over a year ago. We were in Pattaya, and we went and looked at this condo. Well, not even a condo. It's like an apartment at Diana Estates, which is right outside of I think it's Beer Town. That area there. It was a really cool complex, and it was only on the second floor, I think. But the balcony had a really big balcony, and the balcony faced the inside, so you had all this green, um, like almost like a jungle. And it just looked so serene. And the condo itself was huge. I can't remember the square footage, but it was big. It was two full bedroom, and it was all remodeled, brand new remodeled. Had a huge TV, big sofa. I mean, it was really nice. The kitchen was done really, really nice. Had two bathrooms. I believe it had two bathrooms. Maybe three, 2.5 baths or something like that. I can't remember if each bedroom had its own bath. Rigby, if you're still watching, you can help me with this. But it was super nice, and I think the cost was only about $800 a month US for this huge 2-bedroom. And it was like, if this was anywhere else, I would rent it, because it was so nice. But I just couldn't get over the fact that it's in Pattaya, and Pattaya is such an adult. It's just known for that, the walking street. And if you're into those things, that's great. It's fun to go down there and check everything out, because the walking street's pretty amazing there. The beach is nice. It's got a great beach. From what I understand, they're cracking down on prostitution along the beach. Now, they're leaving Walking Street alone and Soy 6 alone. They're leaving all those alone, but they want to get rid of the bad element right there on the beach, because they want to make it a more family-friendly beach, which good for them. So we'll see how that works. But if we want to understand the police and the authorities there in Pattaya are cracking down on the illegal prostitution there on the beach in Pattaya. So we'll see how that works. What's the city south of Pattaya? Jomtien, is that what you're talking about? Jomtien is nice, a little more quieter. A little more laid back. But if you want real laid back in kind of an older area, Hua Hin is probably the best for you. That's real laid back. The only problem is you got the sun coming up, rising over the ocean instead of setting. It's on the other side of the bay so you don't have the sunsets over the ocean like you do in Pattaya. That would be the only drawback, probably. Edwin, yes, and I would never give up my passport to one of the scooter places. Just send them a text without passport. Yeah, no, don't give up. I always keep a copy of my passport in my wallet, so I can just give them that. Usually what they'll do is they'll just photocopy it, I think. So they can photocopy your passport. You don't have to leave it with them. I would never, if they ever asked you to leave your passport, I would just walk away. There's no way I would leave my passport. No, they don't have dirty beaches. Their beaches are nice. I like the Hua Hin beaches. It's nice white sand. It's really pretty. Now the water's not that aquamarine, that blue-green color you see in a lot of places. It's not like that. But it's a beautiful beach, and There's some resorts right there on the beach. The one I like is called the Standard, and you don't have to be staying there to enjoy the amenities there. So you can walk in, and they've got a pool and outdoor bar area right there off the beach, and you can just get your drinks or get some food, hang out at the pool, or go down to the beach. It's right there, and they've got a DJ that plays. So you've got some cool vibe music that'll be playing while you're enjoying your whatever your drink is, drink of choice, and enjoying the ocean and enjoying the beach and the views. Obviously, the views, but it's not packed. It's not super packed. The beaches aren't like they are in Pattaya or anything like that. So. Do you need an international driver's license like in Vietnam to ride a motorbike in Thailand? I don't know. That's a good question. That's one of the things I need to check. If somebody's on the chat and knows, go ahead and put it in there. But I think an international license works. I'm not sure if just your regular license works. There's a Thai driver's license office right outside of my condo, basically, right in the little shopping center, Palm Island shopping area. So I should walk in there and ask them. Maybe they would know, but that's for another day. But I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. We'll call T. So we were talking about why I like Bangkok. So the food, obviously the food, local Thai food is so good. Even here, as far out as I am from center of Bangkok, I'm on the south end. Like I said, I'm in Samut Prakan district, which is right at the south end of Bangkok. I can go outside and go to that Palm Island shopping area. It's got a Big C grocery store there. It's a smaller one, but it's efficient. But they've got a couple of restaurants there. They've got a Cafe Amazon coffee shop there. But they've crossed from that. They've got this little kind of outdoor restaurant, and they've got super good food, really good Thai food, and it's cheap. It's only like 65 baht for a full meal. So I'll get a meal, and I'll get a water, a cold water, and the whole thing cost me like 70 or 75 baht, something like that. So less than $2 for that meal. And then if I go across the road, there's 7-Elevens there, and I've talked so much about how great 7-Elevens are for food. You can get some really good food at 7-Eleven. But they've got restaurants there too that are super good and cheap. So I don't even have to travel very far if I want really good, authentic Thai food. Now, if I get into the city, there's all that too. I'm going to post a video probably tomorrow or the next day. I was walking around, and I just found this basically a weekend market on the way. I was walking from Prompong to Nana, and I can't remember if it was which side of Asok it was on, but I was walking and I saw this. So I went in and walked around and did a video, and they had all these. It was a smaller market, but it was big enough to, fulfill your needs. It had clothes, trinkets, those things, and it also had food, and had really good food. And so I got food there while I was there. So it was pretty cool. You could find those anywhere. Go to places that are probably going to be a little more expensive. Places like Jod Fairs. And there's a couple of 3 locations for that. There's one off of Rama 9, Central Rama 9 Mall. There's one right outside there. There's one farther down on the MRT. That's new. It's only a few months old, and it's really nice. And then there's another one. I can't remember the location of the other one. I've never been to that one. But there's that, and you're going to pay a little more for that. There's the weekend markets. Like the largest weekend market is Chatuchak. And they've got tons of great food there. And I've eaten there a number of times. It's really, really good. But they're all over. You can find really good Thai food anywhere. And then the Western food. If you're in the mood for Western food, they've got that. Let's see, was it Monday? Last Monday, I was at O'Shea's, and they had a pizza special, so I got pizza. And the special was, I think I got a pepperoni or a sausage pizza, but it was like 349 baht for a pizza, good size, 8 slices. So I had 4 at the bar, and then I took 4 home, and I had the next day for lunch. But you got a beer with it, free beer with it. So for 349, a large pizza and beer, so that's $10 for the pizza and the beer. That's not bad. And the pizza is pretty good. Now there's probably places around Bangkok where you can get better pizza, but for $10 with a beer, you can't really beat that. That's a pretty good price. But I was at Buddy Burgers the other day, and I had lunch there, and I got a nice big cheeseburger with fries, and it was a little pricey, I will admit, but if you like those burgers, like those Western style burgers, and if you want to spend a lot of money, you go to these some of these steakhouses where you can get some really good steak. But you can get your Western food. You can get your Italian, you can get your Mexican food. They got some good Mexican food along Sukhumvit. Pretty much anywhere you can get any of that. So let's see. Where are we at here on our chat? Do you need it? Oh, I already did that one. Do you ever receive jury duty notices while you are out of the U.S.? I have not received any jury duty notices since I've been picked for jury duty twice in my lifetime, and both times I didn't have to actually sit. There's an old joke that I can't remember if it's a comedian that said this one time. He goes, I got the best way to get out of jury duty. When they're questioning you, first thing you say is, I can spot a guilty person just like that, and they'll probably dismiss you. But I got picked for jury duty twice, and one time I didn't even get to the question part. I got dismissed before that. The other time I got questioned, but then they didn't pick me, and I can't remember what the case was. I can't remember what it was. It was pretty serious though. It was either a child endangerment thing or a murder case. I can't remember which. But I just went through the preliminary, and I got dismissed, and it was never called back. But I got free lunch, so got that going for me. But no, so all my mail goes to my cousin's house. So that's where my address is in Nebraska. So any mail I get, he'll notify me. And I haven't received any of that. So let's see. I throw that crap in the garbage and don't even reply. Nothing ever happens. Yeah, the idea of forcing the general public into something that is not even their specialty is ridiculous. I assume you're talking about the jury duty thing. Yeah, I wouldn't throw it away, but I did have to go. So funny you should mention that, because I did. When I was younger, I moved around a lot. And there was one point where I moved and I got jury notification and was sent to my old address, and I didn't get it. And then I got a subpoena for failure to show at the jury selection. So it's like, oh, and there was actually a warrant out, I guess. So I went to court, and this was so funny because I'm thinking, this will be easy. I'll just tell them the truth. It's like, I'll tell them I moved and I didn't get the letter. How easy is that? They'll say, okay, fine, you're dismissed. So I'm waiting there, and there's probably 30 people with the same issue in this one courtroom. And this one lady walks up, and this lady was crazy. I mean, she had poop locks. She She had poop. She's probably 55 years old. She had poop locks in her hair, you know, the dreads. She had nails that were long and curled underneath her hand, on both hands. She was scary looking. And she went up there and the judge goes, "Okay, what's your reason for not showing up for jury duty?" And she goes, "Well, Your Honor, I heard that it was UFO." She said some stupid story about UFOs, and she believes it was the UFOs that were doing this mind control thing, blah, blah, blah. And so the judge goes, "Okay, $10 fine, go to the bailiff and pay your fine." I'm thinking, oh, $10. I'll do the $10. And it's like, my story's a lot better than hers, right? So my turn comes up and I go up there and the judge goes, "Why did you miss your jury duty?" And so I said, "Well, Judge, I moved and I got the letter at my old address, so I never received it." And he goes, "Okay, $50 fine, go see the bailiff." I'm going, what? So crazy UFO lady with the nails got a $10 fine and I got a $50 fine. What the hell? So that's my story about jury selection. So let's see, Edwin. If you want a tailored suit, how much would that set you back? Those are expensive. Now, I actually had I've got a friend, a YouTuber that offered to do a video of me getting fitted for a suit, tailor fitted for a suit. And I was just about ready to leave Thailand at the time. This was back in February. And I was getting ready to leave, so I had to decline. And I could have done this whole video of me being measured and get a tailored suit, and it wouldn't have cost me anything. Just do the video and promote the tailor shop. But I didn't do it. But I can't remember exactly what the prices were, but they're not cheap. Now, I don't know how they compare. I've never gotten a tailored suit. The only suits I ever got were JCPenney off the rack. So I couldn't tell you how much a tailored suit in the US would cost to have all that done. Probably a lot. But they're not cheap here either. But I'm sure they're probably a lot cheaper here than they are back in the West. So, but I don't know what the cost was. I probably should have done the free thing. But when am I going to wear? I mean, I'll have a nice tailored suit when I'm in my coffin, I guess. When else am I going to wear a suit? I don't see me ever wearing a suit again in my life. So, so what's your cost of living breakdown in Thailand? And is it cheaper than the Philippines? Okay, so I'm going to do a video. I'm just waiting for my next notification on my rent and my utilities. So I get that full month utilities, running the AC and all that. That way I'll know I'll get a good price. So basically what I do, and I'll break it all down for you. So I've got a couple of expenses back in the US. I've got my phone. I've got my T-Mobile phone that I use with the international plan. And I've got my storage unit and storing my car. So those are the only two expenses I have back in the US. Everything else is here. So what I do at the beginning of each month is I go get 10,000 baht out. And that's for my day-to-day expenses. So if I have a small expense, like I go buy food at a street vendor, or if I need to run into 7-Eleven or something, I'll use that part of that 10,000 baht to pay for those things. Larger expenses, like if I go out for a night, dinner and drinks or something, and it costs more than just some change, I'll use my card and I'll put that on my card. So that 10,000 usually gets me through the month. And like right now, I think I've got 2,500 left. And today's the 25th. So I got 6 more days. I got 6 more days, 2,500. That's pretty good. So I'll put all those expenses in. And when I do this video, and I'll try to do it this next week, I should be getting my rent and utility bill, let's see, probably by Wednesday. So I'll probably do that video and post it next weekend. And then maybe the next live stream, we can go over, line by line, and I'll give you a rundown. But I will tell you right now, it's about the same as the Philippines, probably a little cheaper. Now, this won't include any of my travel or anything like that. That's a whole different expense. I put those on my credit card, and then I pay monthly. I pay that on my credit card. So, but I'll do that. But I would say overall, when you're talking about rental and food, it's cheaper in Thailand than it is in the Philippines. What bank ATMs do you use while traveling? I don't normally use ATMs. When I do, I try to use, I don't use the ones that are outside. I try to use the ones that are inside, because I'm always afraid of somebody, something stealing my information. But usually what I'll do is when I get cash, I'll go through like Wise or MoneyGram or Western Union or something like that. Now, if I don't have access to those, I will use an ATM. But generally, my cards work here everywhere, so I never have a problem with that. I always use, when you pay for your card, they usually ask you, do you want it in baht or US? Or if you're in the Philippines, do you want it in pesos or US? I always say what the local currency. I always say baht, or I always say peso, because my bank gives me a better exchange rate than they do here. Now that may vary depending on what bank you use or who you go through, but that's what I do, and I get a little better exchange rate. So, but I don't have a specific ATM or specific bank I use. Now in Vietnam, that could be touch and go. In Vietnam, some bank ATMs won't accept your card, so you kind of have to find the ones that work for you. Here in Thailand, I've never had a problem. In the Philippines, sometimes I do have problems. Some banks, and I can't remember. It's BDO or BPI. Which ones work? Which ones don't? I can't. To be honest, I can't remember. But you just have to find the right ones. How do I make money? I'm retired, so that's how I make my money. I've got my monthly pension, and then my little pittance I make on YouTube, which has dropped significantly. I'm thinking for a while there, I was like making like 500 or 700 a month. I'm thinking, this is nice. I can really start traveling a lot. But it was all because of one video. I had one viral video that's at about 900,000 views now. And I was making a ton of money for, like, it's about a year old now. So for this whole past year, every month I was making all this money off that one video. But now it's been a year now, so that's dropped off. And now I'm not making anything. I'll be lucky to hit the minimum $100 this month to get paid. So you don't get rich in YouTube, and I don't do it to make money. The money I make off retirement is plenty. I make more than enough than my expenses are. So everything I make on YouTube, I just put right back in the channel. So when I do this budget, I'll show you exactly how much I spend on the channel, because right now it's kind of a break-even thing. So yeah, that's how I make my money. The government. I paid the government for years and years, and now they pay me back, right? What airline do you generally use and why? So I just go here. Let me put this in here. I use this Momondo.com. I use that website, and I look for the cheapest flight. I don't care really about what airline it is. I look for cheap and convenient. So cheap. If I'm traveling in Southeast Asia, I'll look for something that's, the shortest distance, no stops, and the cheapest, and the best flight as far as time. Time you leave and time you get there, and that's what I use. I use Momondo.com, and it doesn't matter what the flight is, what the airline is. Now, most of the time, it's probably like AirAsia or Cebu Pacific. Those are the two I would say coming between Thailand and the Philippines. Those are the two that probably are the cheapest and come up the most in my search. So that's, Edwin, if I had to answer, that's probably AirAsia or Cebu Pacific. That's probably the ones I use the most. Not because I'm looking specifically for them, but that's just how it works out. How much do you think Gio makes on YouTube? I'm sure he makes a lot more than I do, because I'm lucky to get 1,000 views on a video, and he gets 1,000 views in the first couple hours. So if you get paid by 1,000 views, my YouTube. Let me look here real quick. So if I just went to, let me look at my last video that got over 1,000 views. So this is the honest truth, why expats come to the Philippines. That got 1,651 views right now. I made $9.33 off that video. Woohoo! So yeah, I don't get rich, but guys like Gio, who's got a lot more subscribers than me, he's got 10 times more subscribers than I do, probably. Filipina P, Patty Doyle here in Thailand, retired working for you here in Thailand. They're making a ton of money, probably. They're easily making a ton of money. But see, like I said, I'm not interested in getting rich. I just want to make enough money to put back in my YouTube channel so I can just break even, and I don't have to dip into my normal income or my savings to support this channel. So that's kind of how I'm doing right now. So anyway, hope that answers your question. I don't know exactly what Gio makes. I don't know what P makes. I've heard rumors. I've heard that she makes a lot of money. I mean, we're talking 6 figures US, but I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. But when you start getting 50,000, here, let me look at my best video, the one that made the most money, and I'll show you how much money I made on that. Let's see, where is it? Let's just go to analytics. 8 lies about the Philippines. That's the video that, let me share. I'll share my screen with this so you can see. Let's see, we got to do this, present, share screen, video analytics, share. Okay, so if you're watching on a TV, you can see this better probably, but this is the video this was my viral video. So I'm at 895,000 views, so almost 900,000 views. I'm still getting 700 views every 48 hours. So I'm still getting good views in that. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it. It's been a year. And I have my old mics, so my microphone sucks on it, so it's not great audio. I'm sitting there. I think this was done in front of Wolfgang's down on High Street in BGC. But anyway, so 895,000 views. Watch hours, 79,600 watch time hours. Now look at so 895,000. I got to get my glasses on because it's small print. So my 895,000 views is 893,700 more than usual. So that tells you how much more this made than any other video I did. Watch time is 79. It's 79,000 watch time hours more than usual, more than my others. I got 10,000. I got 2/3 of my subs came from watching this video alone. If this video hadn't gone viral, I'd be just another struggling YouTuber trying to make a buck, probably still trying to get to that $100 threshold so I can get paid. But look at how much I made on that. $4,210. That's how much I've made on this one video. And that's probably 90% of my entire what I've made in my entire 2 years being a YouTuber. That's probably it. So so if that tells you anything about YouTube and how tough it is to make a buck, if I hadn't had that one viral video, and I have no idea how it became viral, just random YouTube algorithm. But it was cool when it happened. So I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, oh, I got like 1,000 views in the first hour. That's really cool. So, and I didn't think much of it. And I went to see some friends. It was a Friday, I think. And I went to Wild West on High Street. And I can't remember. I know Gary was there. Gary, my buddy. I can't remember who else was there. But I kept looking at my phone. And every time I look at it, I gained another 2,000 subs. It's like before I know it, by like 5 o'clock in the evening, I was at 10,000 subs, and it was still going up. It was crazy. It was the most surreal, cool thing I ever thought. I'm thinking to myself, okay, I made it. Doesn't matter. Every video I post now is going to get hundreds of thousands of views, and never happened. So, oh well. Alan retired in the Philippines. Hello again from Kalinga, Luzon. Another hot day here. Stay cool, stay safe. Yeah, so the weather's here has been cooler. It hasn't gotten as hot. It's gotten in the 80s, but it's rainy season. So it rains. You know, there's a good chance of rain every day. And when it does rain, it rains like in the morning. It'll rain for like an hour or two. It'll just pour, and then it'll clear up, and it'll be nice the rest of the day. So I kind of like the rainy season because it keeps it cooler. It's still very humid, but it keeps the temps cooler, and you just got to time it when you go out. You know, if it's going to rain in the morning, just wait, go in the afternoon. Sometimes it'll rain late afternoons, so you just duck into a bar or something and watch the rain come down for an hour or two, and then when it's done, then you can go home or whatever. So it's hot there in Luzon. Yeah, we're in the hot season there in the Philippines, that's for sure. So let me see. We're talking about why I love the Philippines, or why I love Bangkok. Talked about the food, easy to get around. The neighborhoods are cool. I love the neighborhoods. There's so many different neighborhoods. Like I talk all the time about the different neighborhoods in Sukhumvit, on Sukhumvit Road. And the neat ones are, Prompong's got a neat area. Tonglo's got a really neat area. It's very Japanese influence on Tonglo. A lot of Japanese expats live there. You get a lot of Japanese food, a lot of Japanese restaurants there. But Prompong, like I said, it's nice. It's got some local bars and restaurants, a lot of Irish pubs in that area, a lot of English pubs. Then across the way, you're right by Benjamin Park. So Benjamin Park is right there, which is nice. Then you work your way down to Asok. Asok's really, you're in the thick of the business district right there. You got Terminal 21, where you can go up to the 5th floor and get super cheap food at the food court there. I had lunch there the other day. It cost me like 35 baht, which is under a buck for a really nice Thai meal. Um, Go down to Nana, and that's more the adult entertainment area. When you get past Nana on Sukhumvit, keep going on Sukhumvit, and you get to Chitlom and Plon Chit areas, which are really nice, really upscale areas, but super nice. And then when you're in that area, when you're in the Asok area and Nana area, you're close to Lumpini Park, which is a huge, huge park. That's the park that's got all the monitor lizards. So if you ever see the videos of monitor lizards just walking around, looks like something out of prehistoric times. That's the park they're probably in. So, but it's a really neat, big park. It's got a couple of lakes in there. But anyway, those areas there, you get to Siam, and you've got in Silam areas, you got some really nice upscale malls there. Great restaurants, great upscale restaurants. If you're coming back the other way, south toward me from Tonglo, then you've got like Ekamai and Anut and Prakanan. I don't know. I can't remember if I got those in order or not. But anyway, those are all really neat areas. In the Prakanan area, you've got the W District, which is a really neat kind of an outdoor bar and slash restaurant areas that you can walk around. Kind of a little like if you're familiar with BGC in the Philippines in Metro Manila, it's kind of like I would say it's kind of like a cross between let's see. I would say it's a cross between in Metro Manila, kind of a Eastwood kind of area. That kind of area, I would say. So it's neat though. Anut's got some really good restaurants and a bar, and it's got bars. It's got a huge Lotus grocery store and a mall there. Ekamai's got a really cool mall. And the neat thing about Ekamai is the bus station is right there. So if you want to hop on a bus and pay $15 and go down to Hua Hin or Pattaya, you can do that and only take you two or 3 hours to get to where you want to go. So those areas are super nice. If you get on the, if you get in areas like outside of Sukhumvit, you've got Khao San Road, which is a cool backpacker area and really neat streets there and really nice bars and restaurants and coffee shops along the way there too. So it's really, there's so many different neighborhoods. Some I haven't even been to yet. So now that I live here, I need to explore all of Bangkok instead of just kind of hanging out on Sukhumvit. I want to see it all. So let me see where else. Alan, congrats on your viral. Hope I get one someday. Yeah, it was a cool feeling. I tell you, it's a cool feeling. Doubt it'll ever happen again, but you never know, right? The YouTube algorithm, it's so hit and miss, so random in my mind. I want to take my wife to Thailand. I'm 70, she's 68. Can you tell us any restrictions or special paperwork my Filipino wife needs? I heard some get denied at airport. I don't know. I've never tried to bring a Filipino to Thailand. Now I've got friends that have, but they're not married. And so they had to, and the age gap is a lot greater than the 2 years you and your wife has. So there's probably more questions because they were, in their 50s and 60s and their girlfriends are in their 20s. So they probably had to do a lot more things, show more documents. I think they had to get a notarized letter or certificate that shows their responsibility for her. I don't know that you need that if you're married, and with the age thing, I don't think you're going to have a problem. But like I said, I've never tried to bring a Filipina to Thailand or anywhere else for that matter, so I don't know, Alan. You may. I don't know who you would ask. I don't know. I can't answer that. Sorry. I wish I could. Thanks for the live stream. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. Hang on just a second. I got to sneeze here. Sorry about that. um, okay, let's see. Let's catch up with the chat here. Where do you suggest place to visit for a week? Well, it depends what you like. I mean, do you like city? You like entertainment, sports? You like the beach? Do you like the mountains? If you like, and I'll just go by where I've been. Hang on a second. It's getting warm in here. Let me turn that AC on. If you like, I'll just talk about where I've been. So Chiang Mai is a little more up in the mountains, and you've got more of it's almost like a college town vibe, but you don't have to be college age to enjoy it. They got really neat little neighborhoods, neat coffee shops, a couple of nice malls, outdoor area there in the central part. But you can hike up into the mountains a little bit, so there's some hiking involved there. If you like the beach, if you like something laid back, Hua Hin is where I've been. That's kind of a laid back beach, really nice vibe. Nothing too extreme as far as adult entertainment. If you like the adult stuff, Pattaya would be the place to go. You got the beach and you got the adult living. Bangkok's got everything except for the beach. It's got the adult entertainment. It's got great live music scenes. There's a couple of cool jazz bars. One's called Saxophone Pub, which is on Sukhumvit. If you keep going north on Sukhumvit to Victory Monument, get off of the Victory Monument station, and Saxophone Jazz Pub is right there. There's another pub, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but they have live jazz music too. Sporting events, they've got 2 Muay Thai boxing arenas here in Bangkok. They've got a major soccer team, so they got a big soccer stadium, or football for those that are in Europe and Asia. In America, we call it soccer. We have our own football. Oh, football. So you use your foot sometimes. Anyway, but you have all that entertainment in Bangkok. And great food. Entertainment, maybe see elephants. We don't drink or do bars. Okay, so there is that elephant sanctuary. I think it's north of Thailand a little bit, but be careful, because don't do the ones where you ride the elephants, and because they're kind of abused, I think. So you just have to be careful which ones you go to. But you can find those up north of Bangkok. You just have to kind of Google them a little bit. How hard is it to learn Thai? Well, go to my video, and you can learn Thai with Earn Lucky Girl. She's a cute little Isan girl that lives here in Bangkok, has got her own channel. She actually just opened up her own coffee shop, and she's got a very successful channel. And I did a video with her on some basic terms and basic things you need to know to get by in Thailand. To be honest, I don't think it's that hard to learn to speak or understand Thai. Learning to read is a whole different animal, because their alphabet is completely different from what we know. They have like 77 characters or 72 characters to our 26. And it's completely different. None of it looks like ours. So learning to read would be a completely different thing. Learning to understand and learning to speak it, not so bad. I think, and you can come here if you want to live here on a language visa. You can learn the Thai language, and you can stay for up to a year at a time learning the Thai language, which is kind of cool. You're welcome, Alan. Glad I can be of an assistance, and glad you're watching. So why doesn't Bangkok have any beaches? I know you're being funny. What? Because it's landlocked. If you go south of Bangkok, you can get to the bay, but there's no real beaches there that I'm aware of. You have to travel a little bit to get to a beach. It's like Yeah, it's landlocked. So it's like living in the Midwest. It's like, why aren't there any beaches in Omaha? Why aren't there any beaches in Dallas? Um, how much cheaper is plastic surgery there? I have no idea. I've never looked into plastic surgery. Are you talking about facial? Are you talking about breast augmentation? Are you talking about trans transitioning? I don't know. I don't know. That's the first time anybody's ever asked me that, and I have no idea. Um, I couldn't tell you, but you can look into it if that's what you're looking for. So, um, let's see what else. We talked about the neighborhoods, um, hidden gems. There's you get the famous. Um, you have the famous tourist spots, the famous temples. The reclining Buddha. Um, the president's palace there. All of those things are very famous, and they're fun to go to. They're neat to go to. But there's a ton of temples all over Bangkok that you could find. You could literally just stumble on and not even know. There's one right on the way to my to the MRT. There's one right behind my condo. I haven't been there yet, but I can see it from when I'm up on walking to the MRT. There's one when you get off at Bering. I believe it's Bering, or maybe Sam wrong. On the BTS Sukhumvit line, you can see one in the distance. It's got a black Buddha that just stands. It's a sitting Buddha, but it's big. You can see it over everything. So, and I see people all the time when they're waiting for the train. They'll be looking at that Buddha and they'll be praying to that Buddha from a distance. So it's kind of cool. So you can stumble on. There's a lot of different hidden places that you could stumble on. That's that's pretty cool. Language visa for 1 year. Please go on. Okay, so I've looked into it. I've had some schools contact me because I've reached out to them, because you can get it's called an education visa, and you can do a couple of things with that education visa. You can learn the Thai language, you can study Muay Thai boxing, you can learn how to cook Thai food. There might be some other ones, but those are the three main ones that I remember. But you can get that education visa for up to a year, and there's a cost involved. Obviously, you have to pay for the visa, but you also have to pay for the education. So you have to pay the school, whatever their tuition is, and then you have to actually go, because these schools, and make sure if you're planning on doing this, go to a school that's certified, so you can make sure that they're certified through immigration. But you have to go because immigration will check to make sure you're going. And then if you want to continue, I think you can continue. And when you go in to renew your visa, they will question you, but they'll question you in Thai. So you have to actually learn the Thai language, because if you go in there and they're talking to you in Thai and you have no clue, they're probably not going to renew your visa. So, but here's the thing. So everything I've looked at online, it says once you hit the age of 50 or over 50 years old, you can no longer do the education visa. As far as the ones that do the language and the Muay Thai boxing and the cooking, you can't do that if you're over 50. Now, I've talked to two schools, and they're both certified through immigration, and both of them said it doesn't matter what your age is. So I don't know whether they're giving me bad information, or if they're just unaware, if the person I'm talking to is maybe new and she's just a call center person that's not really related to the school so much. I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, so I need to check to find out for sure. And I was going to do that last week, but I didn't get around to doing it. So I'll probably go visit that school this week and find out for sure what the deal is. Maybe I'll go to immigration and ask them in person to see what the deal is, because if you can get that education visa at over 50 and do the language thing, I'll do it, because I want to learn the language anyway. And it'll give me another year to stay here without having to put money into the bank for a retirement visa. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do you know the average airfare from Manila to Bangkok and the best airlines to take? Okay, so Alan, I'm gonna do you a big favor here. I'm going to go to Momondo.com and I will share my screen again. And we're going to check flights from Manila to Bangkok. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. So I've got Manila. This is one way, Manila to Bangkok for June 25th. And I've got a 3-day plus or minus. So it will check for flights on the 25th up to 3 days before and 3 days after and find me the best flights. One adult. And let's check it out. See what comes up. And I forgot to do nonstop. I don't want to do anything beyond that. Look at that. $31. $31 to fly from hang on a second. We got the wrong one. There we go. Now check this out. All right. So $31 to fly from Manila to Bangkok on Cebu Pacific. 31 bucks. Isn't that crazy? That's super cheap. That's really cheap. That's Cebu Pacific. Now, there's some other flights that are a little more. But that would be leaving on the, okay, so you got a couple of options. So this one's leaving Tuesday the 24th for $31. You leave at 7:25 Manila time in the evening. You get into Bangkok 10 p.m. Bangkok time. You actually gain an hour. It's 3.5 hour flight. If you don't like those hours, look for something that's like here's one in the morning off of AirAsia. You can leave at 9:05 in the morning and you get in at 11:25 a.m. in Bangkok. That's going to cost you $84. Still not bad. But here's another thing to look at. So where's it take you? So this takes you to from NAIA to Don Muang International. Don Muang is the older airport. That's usually where the discounted fares are. The discounted flights fly into Don Muang. So you got that. But 31 bucks. I mean, come on. Where are you going to find a cheaper flight? If you want to get more expensive, let me see. Here's one for 76. That gets in about 11:05 in the morning. So the next morning, but that flies you into Suvarnabhumi. So that's the new airport. But I mean, Don Muang, that's not bad. So you can just kind of look for the best flights, look for the best time. If you don't have a specific day you want to come, just open it up and just start looking. The neat thing about this too is this little thing up here. So say I wanted to look here, and this is your average price is $68 for this date. That's the 25th. But you can look around and find cheaper ones if you can. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. That seems to be the cheapest one right now. But if you want to look into July, here's some July prices. Looks like 68 average is about the best price. Want to get into August? Now you're getting it a little cheaper. So let's say if you want to go on August 27th, that's a Saturday. Let's check that price. Okay, that's a little higher, $56. So I think the best time to go would be June. But anyway, so there you go. Hope that helps you out a little bit. If not, I don't know. There's other places. You can look on Google. Google's got a flight thing. There's other ones that other YouTubers swear by, and I can't think of the name of it. But they're all about the same. They're basically they search for the best prices. Do they have a dinner tour train? My wife never been on a train before. They do. They do have trains. Like I could take the train up to Chiang Mai from Bangkok. It's a long ride. It's like 12 or 14 hours, but it would be kind of a cool experience because they're sleeper trains, so you can get the sleeper compartments there, and they serve you dinner. So it's kind of like flying first class on an airline, but they've got those options too. I don't know what the cost is, but yeah, if you want to take a slow train, you can do that and kind of be a neat experience. Chocolate cookie. Okay. Hello, JJ. Have a good live. I'll watch it back later. Okay. Well, thanks for checking in, Chocolate cookie. I think that's the first time I've heard that one. So nice. Please also check out tuition amount too. That will be a great content. Yeah, I may do that. I may do a video just on that. That might be good. Maybe I can interview somebody from the school and get the whole lowdown on all of that. Airfare is much cheaper than thought. You just made my wife so happy, and we thank you. No problem. Yeah, I'm glad to help out. Now, hopefully everything works out. That would be the best scenario if everything worked out for you guys. That would be awesome. Okay, what else is going on? Let's talk more about why I love Bangkok. When we talked about the hidden gems and the tourist area, I think my neighborhood's a hidden gem. There's hardly any. You don't see any expats here, really. I see a few in my condo, but normally I only see them getting on the MRT heading down Sukhumvit. I don't see them walking around the neighborhood. But I love the restaurant. I love the little restaurant right next to my condo, and the people are super friendly. I think it's a family restaurant. The dad cooks, the mom and the daughter. There may be a auntie involved there too. There's like 4 people that work there. The dad, he's the cook, and then there's the mother, and then there's another elderly lady, and then there's a young girl that waits tables. But it's a neat little restaurant, outdoor restaurant. It's covered, so you're not sitting out in the sun or anything, but it's all outdoors. It's all open, in other words. But there's another restaurant there that's open in the evenings, right when you get into the little. It's kind of like a strip mall almost. On the left before you get to this open outdoor restaurant. There's another one there that's open indoors. You can sit indoors or out. I haven't checked that one out yet, but I will. And then there's the restaurants across the street. So there's a lot of hidden gems as far as local food. And then you've got vendors. I forgot to mention the vendors all over. You can find vendors everywhere in Bangkok. And there's some right outside my condo. There's a husband and wife, elderly husband and wife that set up 6 days a week. The only time they're not there is on a Saturday, but they fry chicken, and it's 20 baht for a piece of chicken, and you can get a big piece of. They do thighs and drumsticks. That's all they do. So you can get a big and the thighs are like this big, and the drumsticks are like big. Um, but they do the thighs and the drumsticks, and it's like 20 baht, 25 baht for a thigh and 20 baht for a drumstick. So I normally get two pieces, so like 45 or 50 baht, depending on which pieces I get. So that's $1.50 for two pieces of chicken, and super nice people. And they always, now they know me, they see me walking, even if I'm just walking to the big C, I walk by their I'll walk by their stand, and they'll say hello to me. They'll say "Sawadee ka," and the husband's super nice, and the wife is super sweet too. But and then there's other vendors too along there. There's on my side of the street, right outside my condo. There's probably 3 or 4 different street vendors right there, and then in the morning across the street, there's probably 4 or 5 vendors across the street that do breakfast. So if I wanted to get some street food breakfast, I'll go across the street and get that. Um, but yeah, it's a cool little neighborhood. I'll go walk across there. You've got in my neighborhood across the street, you've got 2 7-Elevens, you've got a pharmacy, so anything you need. You've got a couple of beautician shops for if you're a woman, you want to get your hair done. They've got 2 of those. They don't do men's, but if you walk a little farther down on the right, there's a barber shop there, and she'll do men's haircut, and it's only 100 baht, so less than $3. I can get my haircut, and she does a good job. There's a Lotus. There's a small Lotus grocery store there. It's about the size of a 7-Eleven. There's restaurants there. There's indoors and outdoors. So you've got street vendors, and you've got outdoor restaurants that it's kind of an area you walk in, and you've got like 4 or 5 different vendors right inside this little open area. It's covered, but it's open air. But you've got food there, so you can pick your food. It's cool, and it doesn't cost hardly anything to go there and eat, and super convenient. It's right across the street, and I don't have to cross traffic. I can go above, like if I'm heading to the MRT, and instead of going left to the MRT, I'll just go straight and back down, and I'll be on the other side of the street. So really convenient, really nice neighborhood. Now I'll probably move here at the end of August. I want to get something bigger now that I don't have a place in Da Nang, Vietnam, and I'm paying rent there anymore. I'm not doing that. So now I can get something a little bigger here and pay a little more. So I'll probably get something down Sukhumvit, maybe in the Anut or Prakanan area, maybe even Prompong area. Get something in that area and pay a little more once my lease is up here. So, but really neat neighborhoods here. So. I was considering Thailand, but the visa situation seems a bit difficult in my opinion. Yeah, right now, I'm on a tourist visa. So I come in 60 days visa free, and then I'll extend for another 30. I'll get a 30-day visa extension, so I can stay 90 days total. Then I'll leave. So my plan is at the end of July, my visa will be good until August 1st with my 30 extra days, 90 days total. So at the end of July, I'm going to Cambodia. So I'll fly to Phnom Penh and spend some time in Phnom Penh, go to Siem Reap, check out Angkor Wat, do all the Cambodia stuff. I'll do that for a week or 2. And then I think my plan is to fly out of Cambodia, out of Phnom Penh, fly to Da Nang, Vietnam, fly back to Da Nang and spend maybe a month there. I'll have a visa. You get 90 days. I'll do a multiple entry. So I'll spend $50 instead of 25, do a multiple entry in Vietnam because I don't plan on staying the whole 90 days in one shot. So what I'll do is I'll spend 3 or 4 weeks there, maybe a month. Then I'll come back to Bangkok and start my 90 days there again. And now we're talking, let's see, if I leave in August. I spend the whole month of August in Da Nang, Vietnam, come back here in September, October, November, and then leave in December and go either to the Philippines and enjoy Christmas in the Philippines, which is amazing, or maybe go back to Da Nang. It'll be rainy, it'll be cool, but Christmas is cool there too. So I haven't quite decided yet. I've got to decide what I want to do. I don't want to keep doing that traveling every 90 days. I want to be able to be at a place. I want to be in Thailand. All my stuff's here now. So if I can't get the education visa for a year, I'll look into a retirement visa and see what I can do with that. So I'm kind of looking at that option. Philippines is great because you can go on a tourist visa and keep renewing for 36 months. But at some point, they start asking more questions. Why are you still here on a tourist visa? But I don't think they start asking until you're about a month in, been there, or a year in, been there a year. So how safe is it to stay in Bangkok after the earthquake? Is there a specific hotel that you recommend where it would be safe to stay? So the earthquake was very rare for Bangkok. To be honest, Manila is more of a danger, and the Philippines is more of a danger of earthquakes than in Thailand. There's a major fault line that runs right through the heart of Manila, and they're just waiting for what they call the big one to hit and be real devastating. Here in Bangkok, you probably saw the video of that one building that collapsed that was under construction. And from what I've heard from all the reports is that it was faulty steel that was being used in that building that caused it. And it wasn't steel from Thailand. It was steel from another country. So it was faulty steel that was being used. And that was the reason why it collapsed. And also, from what I understand, there's only, I think, 5 or 6 buildings in all of Bangkok that were determined to be unsafe after the earthquake. My building here, they checked. They had engineers go through the whole thing. Now I do have some superficial cracks in the drywall. There's a big crack right down my bedroom. Let's see. There's one in the corner there, and then there's one right by the doorway down below that goes across the outlet. And I think there's one in the kitchen, if I remember right. But other than that, there wasn't anything. And the engineers checked and all the structure was fine, it was sound, and it passed inspection. And then they checked each condo unit individually and to make sure everything was sound. So it's all good. I wouldn't worry about the earthquake thing. I think that's probably one of the reasons why tourism is down a little bit here because of that. But I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest with you. Now, I wasn't here when it happened. Maybe if I had been here and I felt that on the 19th floor where I'm at, maybe I'd have a different view of things. But I will tell you that condo prices are going down. And I think it's partly because of that, especially high rise. It used to be you would pay the premium price for a high rise condo. Now those prices are more in line with the lower units. So you can probably get a pretty good deal for a high rise condo as far as a rental here in Bangkok right now. Unfortunately, my lease isn't up till October, so hopefully the prices will stay low or be low when I'm ready to look around, because I've been looking and there's some really good deals out there that are really cheap, and I can get a unit like 3 times this size for only like a few $100s more. So looking forward to that. Speaking of which, how much are condos, apartment rentals for a single person? So my condo is 35 square meters, so it's small, but it's efficient for me. And I pay 12,500 baht. So if we look at the current exchange for 12,500. That's $371 US. That's what I'm paying. You can get a good sized condo, 45, 50, 55 square meters for probably $500 or $600. And it'll be nice. The nice thing about condos here in Bangkok, compared to the ones in Manila, even in BGC, is the quality's better, the furniture's better, everything about it is a better build, better design, better better decorated, just looks nicer and feels nicer, and and overall cheaper. So yeah, you can get something pretty cheap here. I mean, I don't know what your budget is, but now my budget will be, come October, I'm looking at something between $600 and $800. So the $600 and $800 is anywhere from 20,000 baht to 27,000 baht. So between 20 and 27,000, or anything under 27,000 baht a month, that's what I'll be looking at. So I think I can probably find something really nice. Hopefully I can find a 2-bedroom and have a real studio instead of cramming everything on my dining room table and my nightstand or whatever this is. That would be nice to have an actual studio. But yeah, condos are pretty cheap. Let's see what else. How long have we been on? Let's see. We've been on an hour and 40 minutes. Wow, it's just flying by. I'll keep going as long as you guys want me to. And any other questions, please ask in the chat. I love answering questions, and if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. There's been a couple of things I don't know the answer to, but I've been traveling here for about 2.5 years now, and I've only lived here for since October. So 6 months. So it's not, I don't know everything about Bangkok. I know that I love it. And I know it's my new home base. So I do know that. So let's talk about the culture and the energy of Bangkok. Bangkok's just different. It's just a different vibe. It's different than any city I've ever been in. And I've been to big cities. I've been to New York City. I've been to Tokyo, been to Chicago, been to Singapore, Manila, obviously. But this is different. This is just completely different. It doesn't feel, I mean, it's big, but it doesn't feel big. Like Ho Chi Minh City feels big because, hang on, I'm getting out of focus here. Let's see if I can focus. I don't know. Ho Chi Minh City feels big. New York City feels big. And because it's harder to get around, to me at least. Chicago feels big. Here it doesn't feel that big because it just seems so easy to get around, and it doesn't seem like it takes that long to get from one place to another. So I don't know. And it's just got that energy. It's like there's always things going on. It's like the city that never sleeps. Now, I'll sleep through a lot of it because I'm usually in bed by 10 o'clock, but I'm not a big partier. But on those rare nights when I do go out late, it's fun. And, like I said, I love live music, and it doesn't matter where it's at. Like if I'll go to a saxophone pub, and I'll be there, and just so you know, if you want to ride the trains, you got to get home before midnight because trains stop running at midnight. So there's been a couple of times where I've been out later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 11:30. I got to hit a train. So I'll get on the Sukhumvit line, and I'll be able to get down to Samrong, which is my stop. But it's after midnight when I get off. And so the MRT that's running from the BTS, Sukhumvit, to my stop, which is only one stop, they're closed down. So I either have to get a grab or walk it, or get a trike or a tuk-tuk. I usually walk it. It's about a 15-minute walk. It's not bad. But there are those times where, I lose track of time, or I'm having a good time, and I know it's going to be after midnight. Um, and I'll just do the alternative rather than the train. I'll just take, like when I flew in here uh, this last month, or earlier this month, I guess it was. Uh, I got in after midnight, so I knew the trains weren't running. So I got a grab, and it was like 400 baht for the grab from Swannaboom to my condo. So 400 baht was like 12 bucks. So, I mean, a little more than I would pay on the train, but it's convenient. It wasn't a bad thing. So, anyway, the culture's neat. I'm Christian, but I really respect and love the Buddhist culture. It's really neat to observe. Um, and it's really cool that when you walk by somebody, they do this, and that's part of their culture, the Sawadikap, which is really cool. Even when you're in a restaurant or a bar, you walk in, and that's the first thing they say. They greet you like that. And that's just a neat thing. And you could walk around the street. And when I was at this street market the other night, and I'll post that video in a couple of days, and it's going to be I don't think I'll do any voiceover or anything. It might just be, I'll just put some music underneath it and just show you around. But everybody was super friendly. They were smiling and saying hello. And it's just, the culture is so neat here, and you get that in the Philippines too. Philippines people are super friendly too. And I think that's kind of an Asian thing, but I think it's a little more so in the Philippines and here in Thailand than anywhere else. I think part of the reason is they know the English language a little better than most other Asian countries. Like in Vietnam, they're very friendly, but I think they're embarrassed to start talking with you because their English isn't as good. Same with Japan. In Tokyo, I noticed that when I was in Tokyo before, that they try to avoid contact with you because I think they're embarrassed because their English proficiency isn't good, and they're afraid you're going to try to start a conversation with them. I think that might be part of the problem. But here in Bangkok, most people speak English. Now, some of these street vendors, they don't speak a lot of English. So it's always good to know a little bit of Thai. And I will tell you, they appreciate if you speak to them in Thai. Like the security guard downstairs, I'll say hello to him every day, and I'll ask him how he's doing. I speak in Thai. I'll say, Sawadee Krap, and he'll say Sawadee Krap back to me. And I'll say, I'll try to have a conversation with him in Thai a little bit. And sometimes, like the mom and pop chicken vendors, I'll say something to them in Thai, and he'll start talking back to me in Thai like I know it. And I'll be lost. I'll just say, yeah, I'll just nod my head and smile. And but that's why it's so good to learn a little bit of the Thai language. That way you kind of know what's going on, you say sabaidi mai, that's how are you? And if somebody says sabaidi mai to you, say sabaidi kap. That's I'm good. Basically, that's how you say it. Dating in Thailand is a little different than it is in the Philippines for a couple of reasons. One is the age gap is smaller than in the Philippines. In the Philippines, you can be a 60-some-year-old expat and date a 20-something Filipina, and it's pretty easy to do. Now, whether that's a transactional thing or not, that's another story. That's another video. But you can do that, and it's not a big deal. Here in Thailand, you're not going to be able to do that, most likely, unless it is definitely transactional, unless you're looking for a holiday girlfriend or a pay for play. You get those girls that I want the girlfriend experience, and they'll do that, but it's going to cost you. Now, you can be a 50-year-old and date a 30-year-old or even maybe a 25-year-old, you can probably do that. That's probably not going to be a big deal. Now, the other thing that makes it more difficult here than it is in the Philippines, say, is that they move a little slower as far as getting into a relationship. So if you're looking for a relationship, a full-time girlfriend, um, it's going to take you a little more time dating a girl before she feels comfortable in going to that next step. They want to make sure you actually live here and you're not just visiting. So that's the big thing. And then two, they're just super slow about moving to that next level of relationship. So you just have to be aware of that and understand that that's their thing. And if you are one of those that want to move faster and you're uncomfortable with that, then you might want to move on and try your luck at somebody else, because that girl's not going to do that. She's not going to move fast. Same in Vietnam. Vietnam is even more so. And the age gap's even smaller in Vietnam than it is in Thailand, than it is in the Philippines. So if you're looking for countries that I've been in that are easiest to date, Philippines is number one. So if that's your number one reason for coming out here to Southeast Asia, is the dating scene, Philippines would be your number one choice. Thailand would be two. Vietnam would be three. Of the countries I've been, Japan would be four. Now I've heard that Cambodia and Laos are good places to date. I have not been there, so I don't know. But if anybody in the chat has, let me know, fill me in, and we can have a discussion about that. And I will be there the end of July, so I can kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. The buddy I'll be with will probably be able to give you a little better idea, but we'll see. JJ, what about air quality if you're asthmatic or have other breathing problems? So there is a time during the year where the air quality is poor, and that's probably at the end of January up until mid-March or the end of March. That's called the burning season. So they burn the crops up north in Thailand, and that smoke gets really bad, and it gets as far south as Bangkok, sometimes as far south as Pattaya. So there's been times when I was back here in January. So it'd be like the mid January is probably when that starts. So I was here in January, and the pollution was so bad I couldn't even see across the street from my condo. That's how thick the smoke was and how bad the smoke was. It got so bad that the government allowed everybody to ride the train system for free to reduce traffic in the city of Bangkok to help alleviate some of that pollution. That was for about a week. It was really, really bad. But then by the end of February, it cleared up and it was much better. So you've got that area, that time period between January and March, probably, that it's going to be bad, and there'll be days and weeks that it's really bad. But like right now, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all. Now, I don't know to what level you'll have problems with your asthma or breathing issues. But my biggest problem is my eyes will burn. I'll know the air quality is not great when my eyes start burning. But I really don't have a problem any other time of the year other than that burning season. And the farther north you get, the worse it gets. Like Chiang Mai, I guess, is unbearable during that. So if you plan on living in Chiang Mai, might want to take a 2-month vacation the first part of the year, every year, to get away from that. So, but Metro Manila, the air quality can be bad there. It's not so bad in BGC, I don't think, but it doesn't really bother me that much. I don't think so, other than the eyes. Let's see. We'll go We'll go another 7 minutes. That'll get us right at 2 hours, get us right up to the top of the hour, 11 o'clock. And then I got to go eat. My stomach's growling. I don't know if you if the mic picks that up or not, but my stomach's been growling for the last hour. What are the questions? Yeah, let's open it up to the chat. What are the questions you guys have for me that I might be able to answer that I haven't yet? This has been a good stream. It's gone fast, which is fun. Chat's been great. You guys have been awesome checking in. It's been really good chat. So, but whether any other questions you have about Bangkok, I was last night. I met, or yesterday afternoon, I met a couple of friends. We went to O'Shea's. That's kind of our hangout. That's our main place to go. It's right there in Prompong on 39/1. That street. It's an Irish pub, and we go there. They've got good food. They're happy hours. I get a pint of Tiger or a pint of Singha for 105 baht, which is under $3. So that's not bad for a pint of beer. So we went there, and they've got great food there, really good food specials. Like on the weekends, they've got like dinner. You can get a beef dinner, pork or chicken dinner. Comes complete with the slices of beef or slices of pork or chicken. You get like 4 slices, good sized slices. You get potatoes. You get a big, like a bun. You get gravy. You get mixed vegetables, and you get a free beer. And I can't remember what the cost is. It's less than $10 or about $10 for the whole thing. Like I said, on Mondays, they got the pizza special. I said that earlier. You get a huge pizza plus a beer for under $10. So they got some good deals there. So we were there yesterday. I had a couple of pints of beer, and then I took a walk down from there I was going to hit a couple of bars along the way, but then I found that food court, that street food place. And so I walked through that, and that's where I had my dinner. But it was really cool. Can you own a gun for target practice at a gun range? I don't know. I know in the Philippines, you can't own a gun. A foreigner cannot own a gun. Now, your wife can own a gun in the Philippines. I don't know what the laws are here. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know. I've never looked into it. Now, you can go to a gun range and they have guns available there. You can shoot if that's what your deal is. That's what you want to do. But I don't know about owning a gun. I've never looked into it, never even thought about it. So can't help you on that one, buddy. I don't even know, how do you pronounce expats? Something like that. Anyway, we'll go about 3 more minutes, and we'll call it good. Any other questions for me or for chat? It's been a good chat. It's been fun. I appreciate everybody on. Still 17. So I've seen go up and down. So I think we've had a lot of people coming and going, which is kind of nice. Looks like, we're averaging around, close to 20. That's good. I'm checking my stats here, my live stats. I just stumbled on this just this morning. It's like, I can look at this live. It's kind of cool. So here, I can show you that too. So if you guys want to watch, see what it looks like. Let's see. Hang on just a second. I'll show you again. Live stream. This is it here. All right. That's my live stream. Shows average view duration. Shows how many people have watched since the beginning, 125. That's good. Got 17 right now. So there, that's kind of neat to watch that. So okay. All right. Well, let's wrap it up here. Oh, wait, we got one more on the chat here. Martin, what other advantages are there living in the Philippines when it comes to the language barrier as opposed to Thailand? Other than the language, is that what you mean? The dating in the Philippines is probably easier than it is in Thailand. Those are probably the two biggest things. The language and the dating in the Philippines is probably easier than it is in Thailand. Although I will tell you that here in Bangkok, most Thailanders, most locals that I deal with, other than the local street vendors, but most of them that I deal with speak English pretty well. So if I'm at a restaurant or a bar or at a mall, most of them can speak English to a point where you understand them and they understand you, and you can get what you need taken care of through a conversation. Now you get to the local vendors and they don't speak a lot of English. You get outside of Bangkok in the smaller areas or outside of the central part of Bangkok, you probably have some difficulty. But that could be the same can be said for Manila, Metro Manila. If you get outside of BGC and Makati and you get into some of these barangays around there, like Guadalupe, areas like that, you might run into some locals that don't speak any English either. So you could run into some difficulties in the Philippines too. But generally speaking, the language and dating are easier in the Philippines. What was the subject of my video that went viral? It was called 8 Lies About the Philippines. And basically, it was I did it as a kind of a myth buster. I would do one of the lies, and I would like tell you why it was a lie. It's like I'm trying to think what it's been so long. It's been a year. I don't remember but basically it's like you can't do this in the Philippines, or you can't. The food's no good in the Philippines, and I'll come on and I'll say, well, there is good food in the Philippines. You just have to know where to look and what to find and what to eat. So things like that. It's like you hear all the time, oh, the food in the Philippines sucks. No, not so bad, not so much. But I did 8 of those lies, and for some reason it just blew up overnight, and I got over almost 900,000 views on it. So maybe in the couple months I'll hit 1 million. I'll be celebrating. That'll be kind of fun. So, but yeah, that's what it was. So anyway, doubt that it'll ever happen again, but you never know. So, all right, let's wrap things up, guys and ladies. And glad you can join me today. And we'll do it again next Sunday, 9:00. So mark your calendars, put that notification bell. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button too. I would appreciate that. Looks like I've got 17 likes. So if we can get a few more likes before you bug out, I would appreciate that. That would be cool. Helps the algorithms. But as always, live life, my friend. And until next time, we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.